So now let's go ahead and answer the most important question. How do you prep for interviews? Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I want to share with you guys everything I did to prep for my medical school interviews. If you're new to the channel, it is great to have you here. My name is Sai and I am a first year medical student, MCAT tutor, and pre-med advisor. So the first type of interview, one of the most common ones, is going to be the traditional interview. This is going to be a one-on-one interview with either a medical school, faculty and staff, or a physician. Pretty much a conversation where they're going to try to get to know you and all the activities that you did throughout your application. The second type of interview is a multiple mini interview, or MMIs. These are a bunch of short, focused stations with interview questions each that you're supposed to answer within a time limit. It has a variety of different questions, and if you want to know the different types of questions, stay until the end of the video. Another type of interview is the group interview. This is a group session where you are going to be in a room with multiple students, either trying to solve a case, trying to analyze a given problem. This is a time where you need to make sure that you balance out your leadership skills with your collaborative and teamwork skills. You want to be taking leadership, but at the same time, listening and taking the feedback from others. If you haven't done so already, you can also go ahead and check out my videos on the different interviews I've had specific to the schools. So now let's go ahead and answer the most important question. How do you prep for interviews? There's not an ideal way to prep for the interviews, but there are things that you can do to be able to secure those acceptances. The first thing that I would recommend you do is to master your narrative. But how do you build up a narrative? Well, the reality is you have been doing it throughout your undergraduate years. These are the core values that you've written about through your experiences, your personal statement, and direct letters that other professors wrote on your behalf. However, your goal is not to know your narrative, is to be able to master and speak on your narrative. For this, I would really recommend you to study the STAR method. This is something that I did that worked perfectly, so hopefully that works for you as well. The STAR method is a method used to describe stories effectively. The S stands for situation, the T stands for task, the A stands for action, and the R stands for result. For example, if they ask you to tell you about your clinical experience, then you start with situation, the moment, the specific patient that you were working with at the time. What was the task? What were you actually doing? Were you supposed to take vital signs, take out blood? These are the little things that you can think about for task. When it comes to action, did you actually perform it? Did the patient depend on you for that action? Lastly, think about the result. This is the most important part because this is when you reflect about that experience. On the result part of your story, I would really recommend you to reflect back on that experience and to go back to the why medicine. How did that experience shape your interest in medicine and how did it motivate you to follow the career? If you follow this method and you stay passionate and genuine about your experiences, you're going to have a great interview. I want to remind you guys that if you find the video helpful, to make sure to like it, subscribe, and comment so you keep on getting videos like this one. After mastering your narrative, I would tell you to look up some of the most commonly asked questions. You should be able to answer the why medicine. Tell me about yourself. What are some strengths and weaknesses? What stresses you out and how do you handle stress? If you want a video on how I answer these frequently asked questions for the schools I got into, make sure to drop it in the comments and I'll make sure to make it next. On interview day, you have to make sure to dress professionally. The majority of interviews are going to be through Zoom, but either way, you still have to dress professionally. Stick to the typical professional colors, black and white, dark blue, right? These colors that might allow you to look professionally. Make sure to have questions ready for your interviewer, but thoughtful questions, not just questions that you could look up later online and find the answer on the first link of that website. Have good body language, but be able to read your interviewer. Try to always mirror their attitude. If the interview is serious, then you might stay on the serious side. If they're making jokes, then you throw a joke in there. So it's all about balance and be able to read their body language and be able to match their body language as well. Be calm, breathe, and like I always say, they already like you, so try to use that as an advantage and be confident during the interview. After the interview, make sure to do a little bit of research on the school and whether they accept thank you notes or not. If they do, please make sure to thank the interviewers for being part of this process and how much you enjoy the interview. Maybe remind the interviewer what you spoke about and how it was meaningful to you. Like I always said, this is part of the process. You did receive an interview and you should be proud of yourself, but it is now now your job to be able to secure that acceptance. With the right preparation, I think anyone could do great in these interviews, but it is your job to prepare as much as you can. This video is also going to be part of my interview playlist, so make sure to stay tuned. I'll see you guys next time.